NCCIH is important because Indigenous people's lives have been framed through lenses that are not our own for so long. So, how our health is understood, how well-being is understood, how our needs and realities are understood has for so long been determined by through frameworks that are introduced by others. And so I think at the national level and at the local level, having Indigenous perspectives on our health determinants, the priorities, the needs, the approaches, I think is an essential part of our self-determination and our ability to shift and transform, the lenses that have been introduced by others. So I think that a center like NCCH really powerfully, provides a space for all of us who are concerned about our health and well-being, about our future, the current state of our communities and families to come together and to kind of put our minds together and to take up those issues in a collective way. So I think that's, to me, one of the main reasons why NCCH is so important is to have that kind of hub. I think, as a Kwakwaka'wakw person, we've always been people who gather. We come together to look for answers to the big questions facing our communities. And so I think this is like another iteration of that.
NCIH was an act of bringing Indigenous people, communities, and nations home, journeying us on to a collective lodge. Mama Wigamik. Why the NCCH is important. It's focused on Cascade Masuan, proving the ability for breaking barriers down and for forging ahead. This art was accomplished by founders like Senator Margot Greenwood, grounders like Albert Marshall, Don Fiddler, Dr. Tom Dignan, and many other advisory committee members. The founders like Donna Atkinson and Sarah DeLiu and other staff worked tirelessly to produce useful health and well-being documents to communicate findings for dispensation far and wide. This 20-year celebration is a time for triumphant outcries of victory, Esaguea, over poverties and pathologies of all kinds that plague Indigenous peoples, communities, and nations.
It's critically important because for all the reasons, I mean, BI in the United States, B1 in Canada, or even South America, there's just been such a lack of attention paid to our communities historically. And I think we actually moderated a session last year at APHA, and everyone talks about social determinants of health. Well, we came up with a new phrase. It's really historical determinants of health, because the first Americans are the last Americans to this day, by any measure.
Although the Collaborating Center is based here at UNBC, there's no doubt that its impact is far-reaching, both provincially, nationally, and internationally. And it's so great to see.
Ce travail-là, l'important, c'est justement sa mission qu'il a de travailler principalement avec les peuples autochtones. d'influencer aussi les politiques publiques, d'influencer aussi le travail des gouvernements, de leur faire mieux comprendre les réalités, mais aussi toute la diversité qui peut exister entre nos peuples.
When we went to these gatherings where the collaborating center had the information available to the people, there was this almost like birds coming to feed, and they would all descend on the tables, and all of a sudden, all your reports, the written reports, were all gone. What it then told me was people are shopping. They're interested in what it is that you're producing and finding it as a necessity to the further research and development of their particular organizations.
Now being president, I've had the opportunity to really work with and also see from the seats I'm sitting in the impact that they've had, working with communities, making sort of that far-reach impact into sort of the health of Indigenous communities, as well as elevating the role of research, but really fundamentally the importance of relationships and respectful, and how um, universities such as ours can learn from the collaborating center and see what they do. It's been truly tremendous.
I really just want to celebrate, I guess, and want to celebrate and congratulate everyone at NCCH who has been part of the work over these decades. For me as a two-spirit and queer Indigenous person, as a Kohawk woman in particular, there's not always a willingness to look at some of the challenging questions around, um, you know, equity, around kind of marginalization within our own communities. And so I really appreciate the room that NCCH has made and the leadership of everyone who's a part of that team, in being responsive to and being happy to have those conversations, to host webinars, to publish papers, um, to ensure that these questions are front and center instead of being kind of pushed to the side or treated as uncomfortable or not important. And I think that I'm just really appreciative of the work that takes institutionally, the work that takes at policy tables, and just to really say how much it means to me personally to be a part of this community. So, yeah, so congratulations. And I look forward to the work ahead.